Can you all hear this?
Hey,
Who's this?
man, you're memorial.
So we're all here, and I'm personally going to read the entire book, Skid, to everybody tonight. But I'm going to do it in interpretive dance, if that's okay with you.
Sure.
Dina, anything you want to say? How you feeling tonight?
No.
Okay.
I'm very grateful, and thank you to everybody, thank you to the readers today. It's very strange. It's a very strange feeling I'm having right now.
So I want to ask everybody at the count of 3 to send a message to Dean in Austin. You know, I don't know what it is, get better, where's my $20? You know, whatever it is, I love you, whatever it is. I'm going to count to 3, and Dino, you have to listen. Everybody's going to say this at the count of 3. 1, 2, 3.
Get up!
Did you hear that?
Before the abstract cone enfiladed in blue enthusiasms, you must learn to draw a tree that looks like a tree. But first you must study bark at the Institute of Bark in Amsterdam. You must learn the woody organelles in Dutch, although first you must be immunized. Luckily, this is not the 14th century, and you are trying to become a doctor of the throat, as you would have only the bodies of hanged thieves to cut apart, and hanging makes a mess of the mechanisms of the throat.
Thanks everyone for coming out on this special occasion. My name is Casper. I'm the Programs Director of the Poetry Society of America. I would like to thank the PSA and the National Arts Club for allowing us to host this benefit for Dean Young here tonight.
Joe Prisco from Berkeley, a good friend of Dean's. I'm the chair of the campaign to raise money to support the heart transplant for Dino. We're working with the National Foundation for Transplants because this is a simpler way to raise money in support of all the stuff that needs to happen in addition to what the insurance company can pay for. We've had about 800 donations so far. We've raised about $116,000, which is a good start in 6 weeks. We still have a long way to go.
This is called A Poem by Dean Young. Don't think for one fucking instant that I don't have a broken heart. The man in briefs in an infinite sea believes there's no subconscious, nor is he aware that tempura exists. Don't think I have not eaten in the most beautiful Chinese restaurant in the world. Don't think I've not written on the walls of my bathtub. Don't think I haven't poisoned a snail. Don't think I haven't ignited the sulfur of the fortune teller.
I remember calling Robert Haas when you're seeing him in Berkeley and saying, I need a book. Like, I don't need a part of a poem to like. I don't need 2 poems to like out of a whole fucking book that I spent $26 on because I'm so guilty I have to buy the hardback. I need a fucking book that I like the whole book. And Bob said, how about Skid by Dean Young? I loved those cold May mornings in the wisteria. None of the oil paintings yet, just sketches. The million buds of I don't know what, waiting by the stairway where no one's crying yet or laughing. No one has leapt up yet and danced. It's almost impossible to be afraid.
Simply tell us when you began to feel like this. Think of a place, the rooms by the water, sun mizzling at the window, the usual rubble, the dog locked out, braying. I didn't know how alone I was until they brought out more chairs. Now where are you? I was feeding the birds and it was terrifying, as if for a second live coals were put in my mouth, as in truth I once axed a beehive and they flew in me, in my mouth, swarming. O fear, O my kingdom, I am afraid of even birds, of all they've come to mean of loss, their pink retreating feet.
I'll never forget when I touched your breast. You sighed a name proximate my own. I wasn't a tree or a cloud or a crow. We both had someplace else to go, leaning over other railings, letting the sea have the letter.
Misbehaves in his poems. I like that he encourages us to be a little dangerous in our work when we can be. And I also love that he's such a romantic.
I think that was an amazing mixture for me to see the sort of lightness and play of surrealism, the things we all take for granted with surrealism, like wackiness, fun, craziness, crazy words. With a real heaviness and seriousness to it, and those are two things I think I've always been attracted to, and my favorite poets have always been poets like Dean, like Thomas Schallemann, who've been able to bridge that gap between playful and super heavy.
I love, in particular, what I'm calling his short poems. Some of them are 15, 18, 19 lines long, and of course you heard me read them tonight. They gather together, they force themselves to gather together information, images, passion in a shorter space, which I do, particularly recently, and so I identify with.
I think he's unlike any other poet. I think he leaps in this amazing way, and I think he has this kind of scaffolding of data and perception, but at the same time inside of that scaffolding is this large heart. And I always thought that before I even knew about Dean's heart problems, so I think that's what makes him so unique. If you knew Dean, you wouldn't think for one moment before giving as much money as you possibly could. He's amazing. He's going to write many more books that you're going to love, and hopefully you'll get to meet him in person. He is... If I were an ant, Dean is always writing about an ant. If I were an ant, I would feel about Dean as if I'd come across a picnic.
The easiest way to do it would be to go through the website, NFT in honor of Dean Young.